Next we will talk about endoplasmic reticulum. It is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is a double membrane structure. It is a double membrane structure and it is somewhat a tubular structure but irregular tubular structure. So what is endoplasmic reticulum? This is again a cell organelle which is present inside the cytoplasm, inside the cell, in the cytoplasm. This is a tubular structure. It is a double membrane structure. It is a double membrane structure. Double membrane structure. What is the meaning of a double membrane structure? One more thing I told, it is a tubular structure or it is made up of irregular tubules. So how it is? It is somewhat maybe like this, and as I said, it is a double wall structure. So let me make it a double wall structure. It is now a double wall structure. Here also I will make it double wall. You can see it is a tubular structure and these are irregular tubules. It is a double membrane structure. Double membrane structure means it is this one is the first membrane and this is the second membrane. It is a double membrane structure, that means two membranes are there. It is made up of irregular tubules. The tubules are not at all equal and it can be more smaller and bigger. Like this. Again it is a double wall. So here is a double wall. Where it is present? Obviously it is a cell organelle and so it is present inside the cell. But where? And how it can be, like what is the function of it? First of all, it can be of two types. First can be smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. What is the meaning of smooth endoplasmic reticulum and what is the next one? Next one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. What is the meaning of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and what is the meaning of the rough endoplasmic reticulum? If what is present, we have discussed this while discussing this structure also. If ribosome is present, if ribosomes are present, these are the ribosome. If ribosomes are present, then we call it as the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So what is present in the rough? Ribosomes. Ribosomes are present. Ribosomes are present and so it is known as rough endoplasmic reticulum. If ribosomes are absent, say in this part, no, this is, if I make it like this, here if ribosomes are not there, then it is known as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. That means ribosomes are absent. Ribosomes absent. What is endoplasmic reticulum? It is a double wall structure. It is made up of irregular tubules. It can be smooth endoplasmic reticulum and it can be rough endoplasmic reticulum. When the ribosomes are present on the endoplasmic reticulum, then we call it as rough endoplasmic reticulum. If the ribosomes are absent on the endoplasmic reticulum, then we call it as the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It is a double membrane structure, and where it is present, it is a link. It is a link between the nucleus or the nuclear membrane and the cell. It is the link between the nuclear membrane and the cell. It is the link. So where it is present? If this is the cell and this is the nucleus, so where it is present? It is present. I am just showing a rough one. We have already done with a fair diagram. It is present like this. So it is a link. It is connected over here. It is a link between the nucleus or the nuclear membrane and the cell, which allows the material to come in or out from the nucleus. That means this is a link between the nucleus and the cell. Sometimes the material may come out from the nucleus and reach here the cell, the cytoplasm, while sometimes the material from the cytoplasm may reach inside the nucleus through this endoplasmic reticulum. That is the reason I have written it is the link between the cell and the nuclear membrane. What is the function of endoplasmic reticulum? If we talk about the function, what is the work of endoplasmic reticulum? The work of the endoplasmic reticulum is connected to these ribosomes. What is the function? The function is to make protein. It is, I will write here function. What is the function of endoplasmic reticulum? It makes protein. Protein synthesis and even the transport of protein is the function of endoplasmic reticulum. We are discussing about endoplasmic reticulum. It is a double wall structure. That means the two walls are present. It is made up of irregular tubules. That means the tubules are not of the same size. It is uneven. One another the tubules are present. One after one the another tubules are present. It can be rough. If it is rough, that means the ribosomes are present on it. When the ribosomes are present on the endoplasmic reticulum, then we call it as the rough endoplasmic reticulum. If the ribosomes are absent, then we call it as the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. What is the function? The function is the synthesis and the transport of proteins. This, when I talk about the position, where are these endoplasmic reticulum situated or present in the cell? Obviously in the cytoplasm. but it is a connecting link between the nucleus and the, or we can say nucleus or nuclear membrane and the cell. This is also very important endoplasmic the structure of the cell. Actually all the organelles play their part. Each and every organelle is very important. This is also, we can say one more point, that endoplasmic reticulum is present, where it is present in both the plants and the animals. We can even write over here present both in plants and animals. This structure is present in both plants and animals, and the function of endoplasmic reticulum is the synthesis and the transport of the proteins. Now we will talk about the next cell organelle, which is, we can talk about now about the plastids. The plastids are the structure which is exclusively, or we can say only, present in the plants. Please note this so that we can talk about the next cell organelle, which is plastids. We will discuss about the plastids now. Plastids are certain pigments or the structure which is present only in the plants. These plastids can be of various shapes, sizes and types. We will discuss about the common one. First of all, I will write over here plastids. When I write plastids, the first point which comes in my mind is its presence. Plastids are only and only present in plants. Present only in plants. Present only in plants. It is of different types. It can be of different types. Now, if we talk about the types of the plastids, we will first of all discuss about which one we are going to discuss about. We will talk about chloroplast. Chloroplast is the type of the plastids. Inside the chloroplast, green color pigment, a green color pigment, is present, which is called as chlorophyll. We are discussing about the plastids. Plastid is a structure which is present only in the plant cell. This has got various functions. It gives colors to the flower, it gives color to the fruits, vegetables. It is also responsible for the absorption of the sunlight. But it has got certain types, and the different types of the plastids has different functions. So first type is chloroplast. A green pigment is present in the chloroplast, which is known as chlorophyll. It is known as chlorophyll. We all are very well aware of the function of the chlorophyll. What is the function of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll absorbs the sunlight and convert it into what? Sunlight is being converted as the chemical. Sunlight is converted into chemical energy. So plastids we are discussing. Plastids are of different types. In plastids, first of all, we are talking about the chloroplast. Chloroplast is a type of a plastid. In this plastid, the green color pigment is present, which is known as chlorophyll. What is the function of the chlorophyll? Chlorophyll traps the sun's light. Chlorophyll traps the sun's light and converts it into chemical energy. So what is the function of chloroplast? To absorb sun's energy. It absorbs sun, or even we can write traps. Absorbs or traps. It absorbs or traps sunlight and convert it into chemical energy. This is the main function of the chlorophyll, as it is related, as it is concerned with the formation of the food. It is also known as kitchen. It is not at all required to explain what is being done in the kitchen. The food is being cooked. So it is now when we are saying that chlorophyll is trapping, it is responsible for trapping, or it traps or it absorbs the sunlight and converts into chemical energy. That is the reason the food is being prepared. So it is known as kitchen of the plant cell. It is known as the kitchen of the plant cell. We are discussing about the plastids. Plastids can be of various sizes and the shapes and the types. When we are talking that it is a kitchen of the plant cell, that means it is the main function is related to photosynthesis. Main function is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, we all know, I don't think so it need to be defined, but still when the plants prepare their food in presence of carbon dioxide, water, and the absorption of the, the salts are being absorbed from the soil also, and in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, glucose is formed, and this process is known as photosynthesis. In this process, for this process to happen, that means for the formation of the food, it is very essential that the sunlight has to be trapped. And who is trapping this sunlight? This absorption of sunlight or the trapping of sunlight is done by chlorophyll. So what is chlorophyll? Actually it is present in the chloroplast, it is the plastids. So again this was a reverse order. So what is plastids? Plastids are just these cells. It is a structure which is present inside the cell, and which cell? Only these are present inside the plant cell. These are responsible for the trapping of sunlight and converting the sunlight into the chemical energy. That is the reason it is known as the kitchen of the plant cell. It is, what is the main function? Photosynthesis is the main function. And where should it be present? Which part of the plant is responsible for the process of photosynthesis? Obviously leaves. Leaves and also the green stem. So I can even write in this way: green leaves and stem. So green leaves and stem has chloroplast or the chlorophyll. We will talk about now the second type of the plastid. This is the first one, chloroplast. Now we will talk about second one. What is the second type of the plastid? It is leucoplast. Now what is the color of this leucoplast? It is actually colorless. It is actually colorless and it is present in the roots. It is present in the roots. So it is colorless present in roots. We are talking about now second plastid, second type of the plastid, which is leucoplast, and it is present in the roots. It is a colorless structure. Now what is the function over here? The main function of leucoplast is storage of the food. Storage of the food. Leucoplast is mainly colorless and it is present in the roots, sometimes in the some part of the stem also, underground modified stems. It is present in the roots or underground modified stems also. And what is the function? The function is the storage of the food. Plastids present only in plants. We are talking about the types of the plastids. Chloroplast has got a green color pigment which is known as chlorophyll, which is responsible for the process of photosynthesis. That is the reason it is known as kitchen of the plant cell. It traps the sun's light and converts it into the chemical energy. Chlorophyll is present in this. Now we'll talk about the leucoplast. It is the colorless plastid which is present inside the roots and also present in certain modified or underground stems, and the function is the storage of food. It is very clear from, as we say, modified stems. What is the function of the modified stem? The function of the modified stems is just to store the food, and the same is case of the it is the case of the leucoplast also, responsible for the storage of food. Now we will talk about the third one. The third plastid, which is responsible for giving the colors to the flowers and the vegetables, is chromoplast. Chromoplast, which means color. It imparts color. It imparts color. It gives color to what? It gives color to all brightly colored vegetables and fruits which we all know, like maybe talk about mango or the even the beautiful flowers, tomatoes, green capsicum, chilies, whatever. All the color whichever you see in these beautiful the flowers and the fruits, it is just because of the presence of this pigment chromoplast or this plastid, which is known as chromoplast. It imparts color like mango, or even we can say about the flowers. All these beautiful colors are imparted or all these beautiful colors can be seen in the flowers and the fruits due to the presence of these plastids, which is chromoplast. So we are discussing about the structure of what we are not discussing about the structure of plastids. It is a very detailed structure which you will be studying in one of the higher class, maybe 11th and 12th. Here we are just discussing a bit about plastids. Plastids are what? It is a kind of a cell organelle which is present only in plants. It can be of various shapes and types. Few are discussed over here, like chloroplast, which has got a green color pigment which is known as chlorophyll. This chlorophyll is responsible for the process of photosynthesis, and so it is known as the kitchen of the plant cell. Actually, it traps the sunlight and converts it into chemical energy. The second type is leucoplast. This leucoplast is colorless and it is present in the roots and also present in the modified stems or the underground stem, because we all know the function of the modified stems and or the underground stems is to store food. That is the function of leucoplast also. These leucoplasts are responsible for storing of the food. If we talk about the next plastid, it is chromoplast. Chromoplast is the one which imparts color to the which part of the plant, maybe the fruit and the flowers. This is one of the cell organelle. We have discussed cell membrane, the outermost covering of a cell. We have discussed cell wall, which is present in the plant cell. We have discussed about the cytoplasm, which is the main part of the cell. It is filled inside the cell except the nucleus. We have also discussed about the plastids. Now we will be talking about some next structure, next organelle. Please note this so that we can move to the next one. What is the powerhouse of the cell? Who is the powerhouse of the cell? Mitochondria is one of the cell organelle which is known as the powerhouse of the cell. If it is known as the powerhouse of the cell, what is the reason behind that? Why it is known as the powerhouse of the cell? Because the release of energy, okay, the release of energy, it is responsible for releasing the energy. And how it is? It is a double membrane structure. We are discussing about mitochondria. It is also present in both plants and animal cell. Present in both plant and animal cell. But the number of the mitochondria truly or totally depends upon the energy required by an organism. If an organism requires more of the energy, then the number of the mitochondria in that organism's cell will be more, because it is truly connected or related with the release of the energy. That is the reason. That means the energy is released. It is responsible for that, and so it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. First of all, we will talk about the structure. So it is double membrane. It is double membrane. It is double membrane structure. It is double membrane structure. And the inner one is folded. Inner one is folded. It is a double membrane structure and the inner membrane is folded. Inner membrane is folded. The inner membrane is folded and this inner membrane is known as cristae. Known as cristae. This is the outer membrane and the inner membrane. This part, this here is the membrane. This one is the outermost. This is the outer membrane and the inner part. The inner membrane has got folds. It has got folds and these folds are known as cristae. This is known as cristae. It is known as, it is also called as powerhouse of the cell. Powerhouse of the cell. It is also called as the powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called as the powerhouse of the cell? Because it is responsible for the release of energy. It is responsible for the release of energy. That is the reason, that means the energy is released due to mitochondria, and that is the reason it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. What is mitochondria? It is a cell organelle which is present in both plants and animals, but we will find that the number of the mitochondria are more in the organism which requires more energy. Now when we talk about the plants and animals, who requires more energy? The animals are the one which requires greater energy, more energy. And why these animals, or why the animals require more energy? Because they are moving. There are plenty of actions or the work which is being done by the animals, maybe walking, maybe if we talk about the humans playing, doing certain work, different work. Plants are the one which are stationary, and so they require energy. Definitely they require energy, but they require energy in lesser amount. That is the reason the number of the mitochondria are little less in the plants and is more in the animals. Again, the animals which require more energy, the number of the mitochondria will be more in the cells of those organisms. It is a double wall structure. The inner wall is folded and it is known as cristae. Mitochondria it also plays a very important role in the structure of the cell. What we are studying is not the complete structure of the cell. It is totally like too much in structure is there. Again, so many things have to be studied are there. But when we talk specifically of your class, this much, just outline to know what is this organelle and what is the function is quite enough. So this one is quite enough for you all, that it is the powerhouse of the, it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. It releases energy, it is double membrane structure, and the inner wall is known as cristae. Now we will talk about the next structure. We can discuss about the ribosomes. What are ribosomes? We have discussed endoplasmic reticulum. Now we know that endoplasmic reticulum are of two types, on which the ribosomes are present are known as rough endoplasmic reticulum. But what are these ribosomes and what is the function of the ribosomes? So ribosomes, I think I won't be able to write much over here. So I'll just clean the board and we'll just discuss about the ribosome. So now we will be talking about the ribosome, which is the next cell organelle, which is responsible for the synthesis of the protein. So please note this so that we can discuss and then we can talk about the ribosomes. We were discussing about the ribosomes. Ribosomes. These are present on the endoplasmic reticulum and sometimes are like it is present on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, I should say, and it is also present scattered in the cytoplasm. Ribosomes are single membrane structure. These are single membrane structure. These are single membrane structure, that means it has got only one membrane, and it is present in both plants and animals. It is present in both plants and animals. It is present in both plants and animals. It is a single membrane structure and present on rough endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum It is also present in cytoplasm. And what actually it is just a granular structure. It is as we have drawn in the endoplasmic reticulum. If this is a endoplasmic reticulum, then these are the granules. These are the granules which are scattered in the cytoplasm or on the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So how these are? These are granular structure. Granular structure. These are granular structure. And what is the function of the ribosome? Obviously, protein synthesis. Protein synthesis is the function of the ribosome. What are ribosomes? These are the granular structure which are present on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, on the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and it is also present in the cytoplasm. As you all can see, these are just granular structures and is responsible. These ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis, and it is present in both the plants and the animals. Now we can talk about the next structure. This we were talking about the ribosome. Now we can talk about the next structure, which is vacuoles. Now we have studied while discussing the structure of the plant and the animal cell that in the animal cell, the vacuoles are very small and few in numbers, while when we talk about the plant cell, when we talk about the plant cell, the vacuole is very large and centrally located. I am not able to draw here because the space is not there. So it is located in the center. So vacuoles are big in plants. They are very big in plants and also centrally located and that is the reason why the nucleus in the plants are shifted towards the side. But in animals how the vacuoles are less and very small. Also. What are vacuoles? What are these? These are just a spherical empty structure. These are spherical empty structure. And then what is filled in this? The liquid which is filled in this is also known as cell. And what is the thing which is filled in this? Maybe the waste material, or even the food particles. So vacuoles are what? These are the empty spaces which are present in both the plant and the animal cell. But we have discussed that the vacuoles are large or maybe one or more in the plant cells. These are very big in the plant cell, but these are very small and the number is also very less in the animal cells, because the function is to store the waste, and in animals different systems are present to remove the waste. Definitely it stores the waste thing, and the structure is what? It is spherical and these are empty structures. So, here we have discussed about the ribosomes and also about the vacuoles. Vacuoles are the specific or the identity, we can identify the plant cell because of the presence of the big vacuoles which are centrally placed in the cell. This is the vacuoles and these are the ribosomes. Both are present, both the structures, the ribosomes and the vacuoles are present in both the plants and the animals. Specifically when we talk about the vacuoles, these are very big in plant cells while very small and less in numbers in the animal cells. Now we will be discussing about the next organelle,